This is very strange. I'm filming in front of my new bookcases because this is my first sit-down video that I've filmed since I've moved house. So crazy, so crazy. I'm not exactly happy with the filming, what I look like the angle, the lighting. I need to like figure that all out because on the other side of my bookcases that you just can't see ever so slightly is my thin bike, which I don't want in the videos. So I'm trying to like get the best lighting I can whilst also having like my favourite books in. So we have a bit of like my favourite books and then my middle grades and my like Winnie the Pooh shrine. So I hope that's okay. Let me know what you think of the new background down below and then maybe we can kind of like figure it out. I might even start, once my sofa gets delivered, might start filming on my sofa next to my TBR cart, which is just off frame. So we have plenty of things to play around with. This probably definitely isn't going to be the like set in stone filming location. I might just start filming wherever I fancy, but this is where we are today. I absolutely hate my hair. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's just because I doused so much dry shampoo in it that it's just doing what it wants to do. But we are here with my February TBR, so let's stop rambling and get straight into it. I am so pleased to say I think I've got my reading groove back, and I have said that sentence quite a lot this past year just gone. I said, yeah, I got my reading groove back, and then it went again, and then I got it back a little bit, and then it completely went, and then it didn't really come back at all. You guys know the story by now, but I have only been back in the UK since my holiday to Disney World, which obviously the vlogs have started for that. If you are following along, thank you so much for your support. I really, really do appreciate it. I know they're not the best vlogs around, but they mean a lot to me and my family, and I'm just so glad that I was able to kind of vlog it. And if you guys are interested in watching it, then I really do appreciate every single one of you who are taking the time to watch the vlogs. It does mean a lot. So yeah, thank you for that. But I have only been back in the UK since the 16th of January, and when I landed I still wasn't in the reading mood, and I kind of only really got into the reading mood from like, I need to check dates now just to give you guys like the full kind of like how big of a deal this is. I only kind of got back into reading on, sorry, I landed in the UK on the 12th of January and I probably started reading on the 16th. So it's only really been less than 2 weeks since I got back into reading again, and I am on my third book. Which is really, really crazy. So I will be doing like a recent reads kind of January wrap-up-esque video if you want to see what I've been reading at the beginning of the year, because I'm not going to mention them in today's video because I feel like it's going to be like a TBR live catch-up video. So yeah, that's that. But I am so proud of like what I've read so far, and they've been really good books, and I just feel like 2023 is going to be my year. So fingers crossed it stays the way it's going, which is on an upward climb right now. So fingers crossed it stays that way. I'm excited to delve into my February TBR. There are quite a few books I would like to read anyway, because I'm in that mood of reading where every single book is catching my eye and I don't really know what I want to pick. So I don't really know what's going to happen today. I'm going to talk through the books that I would like to get on my TBR, what books I have on hold at the library, and what books I'm like currently in the middle of that I would like to try and finish now I'm out of my slump. And then we're actually going to see what the TBR jar gives me. So, with that being said, the books I would like to try and read, sorry they're on my phone, that I would like to try and read in February are The Dead Romantics, which I've been seeing going around on BookTube, which I'm just really, really intrigued to kind of see what it's about, and it's on my library app, so I'm kind of hoping it's currently available, so if I put a hold on it now I'll be able to read it pretty soon, so hopefully that will hit my February TBR. I also really want to read I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy. That book, everyone knows about that book. That's an audiobook on Scribd, and now I have moved house, I do have a longer commute to work, so I really do feel like audiobooks are going to like keep me company whilst I commute to and from work 3 days a week. So I think audiobooks, I feel like I need to have at least 1 or 2 on my TBR each month, and that will allow me to read more. And the one that's kind of catching my eye at the minute is Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mum Died, so hopefully we can get that on there. If not, I think it's going to be an easy win for me anyway because it is an audiobook. The next one I'd love to get to is a recent book that I've purchased, and that's Girlfriends by Holly Bourne. I love Holly Bourne's adult fiction, and I haven't read one of hers for a while, and I picked up in Waterstones recently, and I would like to get to it ASAP, so I'm kind of hoping that one manages to make it onto my TBR. And the last book that I would like to read, where did I put it? It might be up at the top, 1 second. I don't know if I'm sat in the same position, but the last one I would like to try and finish because I started it at the end of last year. Matthew Perry's memoir. It's really dusty since like the move and stuff, and I haven't touched it since. My bookmark is still in there, and because it is a memoir and because I stopped reading at the start of a new chapter, I think I can just delve straight back into it. I don't need to like pick it up from the beginning again. So I'd like to finally get around to reading this one as well. So those are the list of books I would like to try and get onto my TBR. Whether they will manage to get on my TBR, that's a different question, because this is how my February TBR is going to go. Over the past couple of years I've been on BookTube, I have done a variety of TBR games. The two that have really stuck with me that I've enjoyed the most is Goodreads choosing my TBR, where I just go on Goodreads, get a random number generator up, and any book that matches that number that has been generated to me, I read off my physical TBR. And the other one that I've really enjoyed doing is obviously my prompt jar. And I have recently gone through all of these prompts, so they're the only prompts I do really want to like get and pick books for, because I don't want to hinder my reading by getting prompts I don't like and therefore picking books for the sake of it. So I have gone through this TBR jar and there are only prompts in here that I would like to get. So with that being said, we are going to pick, I put it on my Notion, where's my Notion? I forgot on the the order that I'm going to do it in. So we're going to pick 4 books because I think setting myself 4 books a month, 1 book a week is doable for me at the minute, with having a longer commute, having now to do housework on the weekend and cook my dinner every night, and you know, the usual adult things if you have your own house or you live by yourself, you know. I don't live by myself, I have Mark and he is a gem, but it's obviously all on us now to do everything in this house, so I have less time to read. But because of the commute and audiobooks, I think my reading amount might intake a little bit. So we'll have to see how the first couple of months kind of figuring out my new routines are going to go. So I'm going to go easy on myself and pick 4. And then if I can read more, great, they'll all be mood reads. But I'll just stick with 4 for these videos. So dividing that into 1 Goodreads random choice, 2 prompt pulls from this jar, and then 1 mood read. Yeah, that. So 2, yeah. I'm getting confused myself. I got distracted because my memory card's full. 2 prompt pulls, 1 Goodreads, and 1 mood read. So let's see what we can get on my TBR. Right, let's start with my Goodreads random choice. I'm going to record my screen. Random number generator, random number generator. I think I've got 37 books on my TBR on Goodreads. I feel like that number stays pretty consistent because I don't tend to buy that many books, and then the books, by the time I've read some of the books I buy then equal out to the same number again. So I have 36 books on my physical TBR. So go to random between 1 and 36, generate number 2. Okay, I'm scared. Grown up. Okay, that's a chunky boy. But I do want to get to it. Not a book that I kind of wanted to read this month, but like I'll be happy to get it off my TBR because it is a chunky boy. Where would it be? Because I've reorganised all my books, but I'm assuming it'll be on my TBR trolley that is new. So let's find it. It's lime green, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. Found it. Found it. This is a big boy. This is a chunker of a book. 636 pages. I don't know too much what this book is about, but I do tend to gravitate towards Marian Keyes' writing. She is the author that got me into reading. Angels by Marian Keyes is the first book I fully read front to back, and then fell in love with reading from that point onwards. So I've got to give it to her. I don't love all her books, but her writing somehow made me addicted to reading, so I do kind of buy her books here and there if they sound interesting to me. This book came out in 2020. It basically follows our main characters, Jessie, Cara and Nell, and they're married to brothers, Johnny, Ed and Liam. 3 very different women tied to 3 very different men, and on a family birthday party, a secret gets spilled and it means that playtime is over, but where are the grown-ups? So it sounds like a family drama book and I'm here for it. Not a book I was expecting, but we'll see if I get it read. If I don't read these books, I don't read them. I'm not putting any pressure on myself this year to read TBR books, but it just gives me a little bit more structure in terms of like books to read in a month. If I kind of have a TBR, I can then be like picking between 4 books rather than 36. So that's the first book off my TBR. So that was my Goodreads random choice. And now we are going to the unknown of the TBR prompts. I know that Mark wanted to pull one, so I'll pull one, pick a book, and then I think I heard Mark just get back. So then I'll get him to pick one. But the first pull from the TBR jar is going to be... We'll go for this one. Oh, it's tiny. What's it going to be? Randomized page count. How do I do that? How do I do that? Should I just pick, most of my books are like 330 pages, so should I pick anywhere between 250 and 400? And go from there? Let's just do that. I'm making up my own rules. So we'll go from 200 to 450, generate a number and see what comes up. I'm not going to screen record this one. Generate 317 is the page count we need to find. Anywhere close to that number, if we can't get exact, will be good enough. So the books I want to read, Matthew Perry, how many pages does he have? Only 250. Okay, it looks a lot chunkier than that. Okay, so he doesn't work. What are the other books I wanted to read? Girlfriends. What was 317? I think Girlfriends is going to be way bigger of a page count than that. Yeah, like 407. So no for those. The Dead Romantics. I'm gonna have to check that on Goodreads. 368. So the closest one so far, 368. I'm glad my mum died. 320. Okay, I'm gonna count that because it's 3 pages off the number that we got given. Yeah, 317, 320. So for that one, I will be reading I'm Glad My Mum Dies. I'm really, really excited to read this. I've heard incredible, incredible things. Obviously, like I said, it is an audiobook on Scribd, so I can listen to it to and from work. And because it is a non-fiction, it means that if I zone out ever so slightly because I need to figure out my route, because I don't exactly know my route 100% to and from work at the minute to my new house, that it gives me a little bit of like leeway. I won't completely miss the entire story and then lose interest because of it. So yeah, excited for that one. Now let's go rope Mark into pulling my next prompt. Yeah, so Mark's turn to pick prompt.
Swishy, swishy.
Swishy, swishy. What is it?
Adult.
Show the camera.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, cool. I don't know if I'm in the same position, but as you just saw, Mark pulled adult, which I'm very grateful for because that means I could read either Matthew Perry because it's an adult book, or I could read Girlfriends by Holly Bourne. So I think what I'm going to do is pick Matthew. Mark is standing outside. I think I've got some dust in my throat. What I'm going to do is pick Matthew Perry because I have already started this, so it'll just be nice to get it off my TBR, and I have only just brought this one so it can sit on my TBR a little bit longer. So this is the book I'm going to pick for Mark's prompt, adult. This is basically Matthew Perry's memoir of his time from starting Friends all the way up to present day, from his addictions of drugs and alcohol and how he dealt through that through still starring on Friends as a main character and how his co-stars dealt with that. And I was really, really enjoying it up to, I got to like page 40. No, 62. I got to page 62. Really, really enjoying it. I can't wait to delve back in and learn more because Friends is my favourite TV show of all time. So getting that little bit of insight from behind the scenes, seeing how Matthew Perry has dealt with that, I'm really, really interested. So 2 like actor memoirs this month. Wasn't thinking, wasn't planning on that, but that is fine. We'll go with that. So has that been 3 books? That's been 3. Oh, and then a mood read was going to be my last pick. But I'm feeling spicy. So I'm going to pick another prompt and hope it's nice to me. So it'll be 1 Goodreads and 3 prompt pulls rather than 1 Goodreads, 2 prompt pulls and 1 mood read. because I just feel like I'm going to read more because I'm really in a reading mood at the minute. So let's pull the last prompt. Let's go for this one. If I don't like it, we're going to forget this happened, okay? Okay, new to me author. That works really, really well because there is a book that I have on hold at my library that should be coming in a week or two, and I'm going to record my screen again so I can show it to you. Am I recording? Yeah, okay, I'm recording. So my library app is Libby. On hold. I have 3 books on hold, so I could potentially read other books this month, but the one I'm talking about is Influential by Amira Sage. I obviously haven't read anything by Amira Sage before. This is a YA book that follows a social media family, and it's the parents' decision to have started this YouTube account following the family, and the young daughter, who is the voice of this book, has always grown up being filmed for content, and it basically follows her internal monologue on how she feels about that and kind of how it is like to grow up in the spotlight when it wasn't your decision to be in the spotlight in the first place. And because our whole kind of our world at the minute revolves around social media, and a lot of people on YouTube are creating family channels without the consent and permission from their kids to be featured, and it's just a really interesting kind of dialogue that I'm just really intrigued to read about, and I'm really hoping that this kind of gives me an insight, because I would love to become a family channel, but I know the pros and cons to that as well. So it'd just be interesting to see what this book has to say about itself. Obviously it's a fictional piece of work, but yeah, I'm excited to read it, and I literally only discovered it via my library app. I placed a hold on it, and now it's on my February TBR. So that's the cover. I also, just as a side note, have Really Good Actually, which is a brand new release, on hold, and also Lessons in Chemistry on hold as well. So that's the one I'm going to read for new to me author, which is really exciting. I'm actually not too shabby about that TBR. So to run down, we have Matthew Perry for adult pick that Mark picked out for me. We have Grown Ups, which was Goodreads choice, I guess, to pick for me. We have I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jen McCurdy for... What was that prompt for? Oh, the random page number. Like 317, it was a 320 page book. And then we have Influential by Amira Sage for new to me author. And then if I get a chance, I'll get around to Dead Romantics and Girlfriends by Holly Bourne. So that is my February TBR. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below to see future content from me. Comment below what you are planning to read in February. Are you planning on reading any of the same books as me? Have you read any of the same books that are on my TBR? What are your thoughts? Leave them down below, spoiler free of course. And with that being said, I will leave you to it. I said like and subscribe, and yeah, I'm rusty. I am rusty. I'll see you later. Bye guys.